order the meeting of the Stony Brook Community Development District. This is Tuesday, May 31st, 2022. The time is 6:03 p.m. and we'll let the record reflect that all supervisors are present in person at roll call. Madam Chairwoman.
Do we have public comments? Okay. No public comment? Okay, then we can move on. Jeff, John, golf course superintendent?
Okay, I'll start off with bad news. Late Friday, I got a call from Clark Construction, and they told us that they couldn't start on the putting green until September, which is way out past our date range. I guess it just can't be done for us. As far as growing the green in and then having it ready for play, I mean, anything can happen from September on. It's not worth it, you know, it's too risky. So we did have another bid from Glaze, and remember Glaze came in at $117,000, but it didn't have the land bridge in there. For whatever reason, and we did talk about the land bridge and told them, you know, hey, we'd be moving some material from the putting green over there. I didn't contact him because I wanted to talk to you and see, you know, what your thoughts are. We can contact them. Remember, they were second fiddle to us, and they may be booked. You know, because we got to have this by no later than mid-July to have the grass on the ground, on the greens planted and start to water and grow into it. It's going to take a good 2.5 months. You know.
Okay.
So you want it done by September. You want it nice and grown in. You know, maybe even early October if the weather's still going in that warm pattern. So, or we wait until next spring, which can be done. We were just, you know, talking about cleaning up the front of the house, and the benefit of it, I guess you could say, would be, you know, you're 1 year closer to the actual renovation of all the greens with putting greens, so you're not that, you know. Well, obviously the money would save in the meantime, but.
Right. If we pushed it off till next year with Clark, will they honor the price that they've given us?
No. There's no, it could be cheaper if we're in a recession, you know, but no, that's so far.
Okay. Jeff, you're the one with the, what's your opinion?
Well, let's see if Glaze will do it.
Okay.
We're talking. Yeah, they are, right. I think it's at least worth talking to.
Okay, now the thing is, if Glaze gives us a price.
Yes.
Okay.
Which they already have.
Okay, and if we go with them, we don't have another, you know, for them to add the land bridge. Remember, we don't have another meeting till June 28th.
Correct. So, we approved 140 from Clark. The Glaze was 117.6.
Okay.
So there's room in there, for that land bridge is not going to cost. It's just moving material, placing it, shaping, real simple shape, and then sod it, and that's it. It's nothing it's nothing complex at all. It's actually going to be a benefit because it's going to help us get rid of some material, you know, instead of taking it back to maintenance and us having to dispose of it or pile it up and store it in the meantime.
Okay.
See if they can do it by the date, and if they can't, we'll push it to spring.
What's that?
See if they can do it before, so that we can have it ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. No, that's the game. Right.
Okay.
No. And you know, it's not that short of a time frame, but it's a busy summer this year. A lot of people are doing things and getting some renovations done. So we'll just, I'll have to see.
Okay.
Have you seen any work they've done in the past, John?
Glaze?
Yeah.
The Glaze has been around for a long time. But it was probably 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So, you know, for what it's worth, yeah. Tallis Park. I used to work there at Tallis Park.
They do a lot of renovation.
Yeah, they do a lot of work. They build a lot of golf courses in Southwest Florida.
All right.
Do they know when they get the bids?
Yes. Exactly. That's one of the issues as well, right?
Yeah.
Hey, we don't maybe we do. Yeah.
Well, but it's just a matter of time. I mean,
It's business too.
if they can't, if the other company can't do it before September, there's nothing wrong with going to Glaze and saying, hey, they can't do it before September. If you can, maybe you'll get the bid.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
No harm.
No harm, no foul, right? It's just,
All right, I would say give them a call tomorrow. Ask them what the cost would be to add the land bridge and do that.
okay.
And then with that, as long as it's under the 140.
Do you have to vote on that?
Do I need the vote on the board?
It would be good.
Okay. So I need a motion. So we were going to change the vendor to do the putting green from Clark to Glaze, with it being under the 140 in total, and to be done starting mid-July. Can I have a second?
Second.
All
So
those-
does the 140 include the land bridge or the
Yes.
bridge?
Yes,
But we weren't sure about that originally.
it will, yeah.
Yes.
I'll make sure it does.
No, the 140 from Clark included the...
Oh, yes, it did.
Yes, it did include
I'm
the
sorry.
land bridge.
How much did they appropriate for that?
Like 4,200.
Still gonna be much
Right,
more.
like I said, it's just moving.
So you got plenty of room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought that was substantial. More.
Staffing,
Okay, well, wait, we're not
Also,
finished.
we have-
Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, so John, you'll let us know, you can notify
as soon as,
Chuck,
yeah,
and
I'll
then Chuck
contact you
will...
probably tomorrow, yeah,
and let
sometime
us-
tomorrow.
Okay, and then you can let us all know. Okay, thank you.
With staffing, I got a good story. So I was able to possibly get 2 of our former employees back for the golf course. I was really excited about that. They work at Cypress Lake Golf Course. And I told them, I'd pay them $17 an hour, come back. Everything was great and wonderful. They put in their 2 weeks. Well, when one of them left to go there, the superintendent contacted me and he, gave me a professional courtesy. He said, hey, we're going to take them. And I said, all right, thank you, no problem. And that was a little over a year ago, so I did the same to him, and I said, I'm sorry, I'm taking 2 of them. But no harm, no foul. I mean, in this market, I got to do what I got to do, I'm paying them more money. And he's like, when is this going to stop? I was like, I don't know. I don't, but if you can offer more money, I'm sure. And needless to say, I got a call later on the afternoon, they got offered $18 an hour. Yeah, so I was this close to having really good help. I mean, trained staff that, that kind of didn't sit too well. But anyway, I currently am using some workforce labor, some temp labor right now for the irrigation. I used 3 people today. I'm going to be using 5 tomorrow. Just because it's so hot and it's a lot of manual labor, shoveling these cores, and I was doing it today with them, and it's tough. So we need a little bit more help, but we'll be all right there. So I got 5 people coming tomorrow for that. Pine straw just got laid down. We're in the process of trimming the height requirement for the Boulevard for the fire trucks at 13.5 feet. In between, still taking out some intersections and trimming. We're just kind of bouncing around in between everything, trying to do a little bit here, a little bit there. What else? I had our tree guy come out for the pro shop to look around, to get rid of the palms around the pro shop, because to be honest, now that it's going to be ours, there's some liability there. We don't like some of those palms, those tall Washingtonians. I did not receive the bid in. He was out early last week, but I didn't get the bid in time today for the meeting, so I don't know. And I also had him look or reevaluate in between 11 and 12, because we had budgeted money for that, for this year's budget, just to see, clean that up, remove all the exotics, trim all the palms, pine trees, stuff like that, really clean it up.
Okay.
So you can see through it, and then, other than that, irrigation's going pretty good. It didn't rain on us today, but hopefully this passes pretty quick without too much. And as far as
John, excuse me, for the palm trees by the pro shop?
Yes.
Jeff and I spoke with the insurance agent today, and he was like, yeah,
He's excited about that.
very excited, get rid of it, because that would, help with the insurance premiums and all that, we don't have all those trees right there.
Exactly, yeah.
So,
A couple of them were actually, even have, if they fall, they're gonna fall that way. It's
And
just,
we don't
they're already at that angle, so. And then, I got an update from Chuck last week that I might be getting a truck this week.
and,
There's a truck on the parking lot.
It's there, but I just.
Trying to close the financing.
Just gotta sign some paper.
okay, well, that's been since November?
December.
December?
Yeah, it's been 6 months.
6 months,
Might go down there tomorrow at lunch and sit in.
okay. Woo-hoo, new truck.
And really, that's all I got right now.
You have an irrigation tech?
Oh, I did, that's right. I hired a new irrigation tech on the common grounds. And his name's Brian Freeman. He seems like a pretty good guy. I haven't been able to spend as much time with him as I wanted to. Kind of threw him to the wolves because the second day we had a big leak out on the corner of Stratton that we had to take care of. Made a real mess, dirt everywhere. But it was good learning experience for him, so, yeah.
Well, John,
So I'm excited about that. It's good to
Jeff and I
have.
met him today, and he said, he did say that you hadn't spent a lot of time with him, but he was helping with the cleanup and all, and he was, as long as he's busy, he's fine.
Yeah.
So,
It's just happened, that he came on at just an odd time with the
Yeah.
irrigation and us being so short, but I tell him every time I see him, like, hold on, we'll get there.
but I think he's fine with it.
Yeah.
So,
Real smart individual, he's done a lot, he's in the latter part of his career, I wouldn't even say career, but he's done a lot of restaurants and stuff like that, been in the food and beverage for most of his life, so very successful at that.
okay.
Really good to have him on.
I have a question, or actually more just some clarification, and since we have so many people here. On the golf course, we've never been fully staffed, I don't think, since I've been here. I don't think we've ever really fully been staffed.
For half an
How
hour.
far are we off now? How many employees do we lack?
An assistant and 3 laborers.
So roughly 4?
Roughly.
4 heads? What about on the common grounds?
I think we're there with Brian, we finally got the irrigation tank, so we're there.
So we're good on
Wait a minute.
common ground.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
We're good on top, yeah.
Thanks.
That's it, The assistant, I might as well give you an update on the assistant, so I haven't had a single hit. Not a single person apply. I have it on GCSA, I have it on TurfNet. I'm sorry, that's not true. I had one kid apply from Georgia, had a decent resume, not too much experience, but I could tell this kid didn't understand where he was moving to. I said, do you understand? This is how much money I'm going to be paying you. I said, are you going to be moving down with a spouse or somebody who also works, or I guess his girlfriend was in the medical field. I said, that's great because it's big down here. You'll always get a job. I was like, because I want to tell you now, this is about how much it's going to cost you. $2,000 minimum. We're talking for a place, right? Start doing the math. And not a lot of people know that. He was in some small town in Georgia. I'm like, I don't want you to come down here and ruin your life. You think you're making a good change, but it's the worst thing you ever did. Once we started laying it out and saying, he's like, yeah, I think you're right. And I told him look into it. Look at the pricing of homes and stuff like that and renting. And if you feel comfortable, call me back. But I just didn't want to. Like, oh, I got somebody.
Yeah, and then they leave after.
Yeah, keep
because
for
they can't
6 months and ruin her life, and
Yeah, and then they leave because it is tough.
it is.
And the rates here are outrageous.
Yeah.
So, John, anything with the mats
So,
on the green?
yeah, I did talk to Turfhound. To be honest with you, I think the best thing to do, we're going to resod some of these tees obviously this summer. I think the best thing to do is to get rid of that material, take them down 4 to 6 inches and bring in 4 to 6 inches and recap them and sod them. And, we got plenty of room. Jeff told me, let's go ahead and replace the mats again. They're wearing down pretty quick. It's turned into a big expense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on a dry bridge.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
does the cost outweigh?
So
I
you're
think the
saying-
cost in this, it's of doing that, installing it, and then maintaining that. At this moment, I think it'd be better to renovate those tees, like completely renovate them. So you might spend maybe $20,000 doing those tees, just those tees. Doing that, taking that material out, put some good material in, have it tested as well before it comes. They'll test it for nematodes to make sure it's not, be below a certain threshold level, and bring that in.
What would
Or we
you,
could just keep resodding it too, and have it for a year, like resodded it, because you're looking at about 5,000 to resod those tees yearly,
A box or total?
total for all of them.
And so January to end of April, we did over 25,000 rounds. So that's, you're getting the wear.
yeah,
So he's probably, the artificial turf location on the tee. In theory, sounds like a great idea, but probably in all actuality, the least expensive avenue would be, like you said, just re-sod it every year. And you figure that year they're gonna get worn out because they're poorly designed, especially 17.
Yeah,
It's so small, you know, they want to build a couple more houses there, they get it a little closer. You know how developers are.
It's almost like a saddle.
And it's just such a small tee for that amount of people. And even if they do tee it up, I mean, people aren't real good at golf sometimes, you know.
really,
They take divots and
really.
it's okay, it happens.
It
And
happens.
some people that are good at golf still take a divot.
Yes, they do.
So, you know,
Is there any way to widen it? I mean, in the future, as we do the renovation, I guess we could widen it out, put a wall.
on 17, we could be over there in the lanai and, you know, hey, how's it
So we can
going?
bring it closer to the cart path.
17's tough, yeah. So you obviously can get more surface area, but you gotta smash it, right? You gotta lower it down. Or you gotta build a wall. If you wanna build a wall right there up against the cart path, then you can go take it all the way to it, get that, you know,
Yeah, you can go up.
go up like that. Or you lower it, you know, down, get it, you know, flatten it out like that way. But, yeah, for now, I think that's the best way. So I got that on the schedule. The next aerification, we're gonna take up all those tees, tear them up, spray them out, put some on the mat aside, and relay this on. I'm ready for the season.
So the plan is to basically start when the bond's paid off, to start looking at having the greens redone, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, roughly.
When the golf course.
Probably, Chris, you're looking at the entire grassing on the entire course.
That's what I'm thinking. At
Yeah.
that point, then what you're talking about, some of those ideas on what to do with those tee boxes.
That'd be the
Make
time
it
to
one
do
big
it.
project, and just do it.
So continue to.
Expand it, build the wall, whatever it takes there on 17 to expand that tee box to where, I don't know, can you really expand it that much? But I guess anything,
Well, there's enough of a-
something's got to be better than
Yeah.
what we currently
And you
have.
know, at that time, there's, you know, you get creative, you can move the cart path to the inside, you know, next to the house, shift everything over,
Yeah,
you know what I
that's a
mean?
good point. Yeah, you're
There's
right.
things you could do, you
Okay.
know, in a redesign and a renovation like that.
Right.
And John, you said the mats, you can't flip them around in the dry range?
We're gonna, no, we just put the actual,
did you?
the soft, the short turf, we just did that.
Oh, okay.
Finished that, but when Jeff told me a couple weeks ago, he's like, hey, I think we need to order new mats, I was shocked, because the last ones we had, what, 5 years?
Yeah.
And I thought maybe he was like something had happened, you know, so I came out there and I'm like, what's he talking about? Like, and I go up and look and I see the rough areas, people are loving hitting out of the rough area, and they are, yeah, they're, some of them, especially towards the 10. I mean, I was like, oh, okay, I see what he's talking about. But I mean, we could probably just replace those, but they're gonna be, you might get that off, there might be a little off color because they've been in the ground for, you know, a year, so, right. It may look like a mixed match carpet, you know, the green, like a light color versus.
What I'm saying, you couldn't flip them from side to side.
Take the ones from this end and move them.
I'm saying.
Yeah, you know, we could try, yeah, we're gonna, yeah.
Turn them
do
that
some
way?
stuff.
We turned the ones, the tighter turf, we've already done that, yeah, we flip them around.
Can you do the same on the rough part?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I mean, but I think like you were saying, maybe take the ones from that and bring it, because they're that bad.
Yeah,
I don't think
just-
spinning them would do anything, they're that wore out. So,
And anything we can move from one end to the other, why don't we
Yeah,
try to do that?
yeah. It shouldn't be an issue, because the end typically don't matter, because it's a slight curvature. It's when you get in that apex, and
Yeah.
that curve, that's when things get little, the part
Little
pieces
dicey.
you can't really flip-flop and change out.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll let you work on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Nothing else for you? It's raining.
Pretty hard.
Okay, Jeff, you're on.
Well, sticking on that mats for just a second to give you guys an idea why they're getting worn out. In 2021 through the end of April, we've done $81,000 worth of business on as range fees. Through April this year, we've done $147,000. We have $65,000. You figure it, just go $10. You know, it's a lot more golf balls getting hit.
Yes.
So they're gonna, and we might be able to make it another season, but we're gonna have to replace probably, if we didn't do this year, the following year for
Following
sure.
year.
which is it's a good thing to have. Because, you know, it's a $20,000 replacement, but, you know, we're probably gonna wind up $100,000 over budget. So, keep them nice, because, you know,
Were you thinking every 2 or 3 years versus 5?
yeah.
Yeah.
At that rate of use.
Yeah.
And if we see the rate reduce, then we can push back the change.
I don't see it changing. I mean, where is a range going to be built
That's right.
around here?
Yeah.
Probably nowhere.
You know?
And
Why we're seeing this is there were only 2 other ranges really in Estero area, and they both closed down. So everybody's coming here and paying to use our range.
Yeah.
And also, Horseshoe's gonna be closing down, right? Oh, Horseshoe's gonna be shut down, the golf
Yeah,
course for a little
yeah.
bit.
Next
year.
Next year.
Oh, is it next year?
Next year,
Oh, is it?
Yeah, next year.
next year.
While we're on the subject of range, the range dispenser is here. It's in the cart barn, it's still in the original box, hasn't been taken out. We're in the process of getting the area built to house it, and we're making some changes in the front of the house with the bag stand area, so we want them all to match. We're working with Fowler Construction on that. And hopefully, he's meeting with an architect, me, him, and an architect are meeting on the 8th. So, when I get a firmer time and date, I'll let you know. But we're gonna get that all together and hopefully have that in operation by, let's be pessimistic and say the end of September. And optimistically, hopefully a lot sooner than that.
Okay.
The month of May has been another good month. We'll be over budget again, probably about $15,000 to $20,000. We had a lot of nice tournaments. A few activities from some of these tournaments were a little out of hand, but all in all, not a bad month for us for May. In June, we're hosting the National Deaf Tournament. 140 deaf golfers will be here. It might be quiet. They're a lot louder than you think, though.
Yeah.
But we're looking forward to having them out, and we're also doing another fundraiser that same week, and we got a lot of stuff going on, so June will be busy once we get reopened from the airification. We'll look forward to that. On my agenda, it talks about the apology letter. Do you guys want to talk about that? So, for you guys that don't know, right around the 1st of the month, we had an event for the Shriners. A small event, 40 golfers, I think, total. Anyway, during that event, 2 juveniles stole a golf cart from beside the 3rd green and took off in it and wrecked it. The golf cart was actually fine, but they ran into a pole that they broke. There, as you go from 3 to 4 on the cart path, there's a black pole and a sign. They hit the sign, the cart hung on it, and they took off running. The 2 gentlemen that they did it, one was an electrician locally, and the other one worked for the Lee County Sheriff's Department.
Corrections officer.
Corrections officer. So we called the sheriff. The sheriff asked me, did I want to press charges? Yes, was my answer. You know, because you can't steal a golf cart from guys that are playing golf on the golf course and go take off with it. And apparently there was I don't know, anyway. And the guy that had his clubs and his wallet and his phone and all his belongings in the cart, the corrections officer was extremely upset, and he pressed charges. So since then, we received this letter that you guys got from it's a resident's son. Am I correct in saying that, Chris?
Grandson.
Resident's
Both,
grandson.
actually.
And there were 2 boys in the cart. We've only been able to acknowledge or identify one of them.
To my knowledge, the grandparents live here. Their daughter lives here.
Daughter lives here.
Her son is the one of the boys that took the cart.
Cart.
I mean, it's a nice letter. He says, "Dear sir, I'm very sorry for taking your golf cart last Saturday. I also apologize for disturbing your business and for breaking your sign. My actions were very wrong, and I'm sorry, and this won't happen again. Sincerely, and I won't say his name.
And then the grandparents did say that we are most regretful for the behavior and actions of our grandson. He never imagined that a prank would turn out this way. We accept responsibility for damages and will make restitution. I don't know I know in the past, we did have an incident where the individual did pay back. I'm just not sure that I'm really upset with the fact that they did this. They took the cart, they had no regard for it, and with all this TikTok stuff going on, my best guess is they were going to run it right into the lake because they were headed right that way, whether that was their intention or not. But if these golfers that were on the green didn't drop their club and run, I don't know where the cart would have ended up and what the damage would be. I just have a hard time just accepting the apology letter. I don't know what the cost of the sign was. I don't know of any other, there may have been other issues with this child or these children in the neighborhood before. You just can't do that. I mean, I don't want Stony Brook to have a name. Oh, yeah, kids steal carts, and then they get away with it. So that's my opinion. I'd like the other board, would like your opinion on how you want to handle this. Mike?
I think you should pay for it.
You pay for it.
Definitely pay for it.
Yeah,
He's gonna pay for it anyway if the police officer would have charges.
yeah.
Are they asking for charges to be dropped? Is that what they're asking for?
They're not asking for anything.
I have to be
The letter
honest.
came into the email box. I monitored the email box, so I forwarded the letter.
So charges are moving forward. So if we don't do
As far as I know,
anything, he's gonna be charged.
Jeff, maybe you can speak to that.
Charges are moving forward.
You pressed charge too, right?
Yes.
We did, and
The club
the two golfers.
and the officer and the young man who was an electrician.
Okay.
They both press charges, and we press charges. I mean, everybody nowadays, at least younger people, is a social media star, and that's what you steal a golf cart and you surfed in it and rode it into a lake, man, you get 5,000 hits. You're famous.
But they did video this while they were doing
They
it.
did.
They videoed it and posted it.
Leave it everything like it is. We're not dropping any charges.
So they were well aware of what they were doing.
Keep it going.
Yeah, okay. We will continue on the path we're on.
And Jeff, what do we,
Honestly, I don't think it really matters if we dropped it or not,
because the police, I mean,
because the
other,
officer's going to take him to the max.
and so is the electrician, the two golfers.
Well, we should
too.
at least get reimbursed for damages.
Jeff, do you know what the charges are?
So it's not grand theft auto, it's grand,
Oh, I had it on.
yeah.
Well, between the value of the goods and the value of the golf cart itself, I mean, that's
It's like 3
it's
charges.
basically a felony.
Yes,
I mean, they have to be.
Grand larceny, that's it.
grand larceny.
Wow.
The other thing too, that, so I think we need to continue with the charges. Did we get a price on fixing the sign?
John already fixed it.
Okay.
I mean, so,
How much did you charge us, John?
$1,000.
No, the actual sign was fine, but the post that was broke.
Okay.
but you didn't replace it with that plastic. It's a 4x4, right?
Yeah.
I looked at it the other day.
Yeah, it was a 4x4, but it wasn't the composite that we normally use. That stuff's really hard to come by right now with all the shipping, and it's super expensive, so it's really not worth it. So I just went up and bought a 4x4 from Home Depot, painted it black, weather treated, and used that. So got an 8-footer, cut it in half, got another one back there in case it happens again.
And the cart's fine.
The cart's fine. So
Yeah,
I
it was minimal.
think we leave the charges.
Okay.
Yeah.
See where it goes.
See where it goes. Okay. Anything else for you,
I
Jeff?
don't really have anything else, just continuing to do what we do, and hoping to have a good summer with junior golf, and hoping to do some improvements right around the clubhouse area as far as our bag drop and some of our landscaping and all that. And that's all I have.
How are you doing on staffing?
I'm good. I did have one thing about that. So Jake had been working for me for a couple months. He's a former Army, he did explosives in the Army, and he graduated from Florida Gulf Coast. He's going back to Detroit. But he did explosives in the Army, so I figured he could live in Detroit, Anyway, he's moving back to Detroit, and just so happened my former assistant, Kyle Schulte, called me and was wondering if I was hiring. I'm like, I'm not really hiring full-time, but maybe something part-time. And he wanted to do that because he's opened up a business where he does golf lessons via the internet. And you buy X amount, and you send videos to him. He sends video responses, and so he's going to work Tuesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays for us, and help us out with some Golf Genius stuff. He was extremely Golf Genius literate. And he's a good guy. And we'll see, we'll see how long that lasts, and help get Tyler further along as a first assistant.
Well, one reason I asked that is you sent that information, which I read and thought that was insinuating that we needed help.
No, I just, I sent you guys an article that was in Golf Digest about golf professionals, and Phil's laughing because he was in the business. And you could have wrote the article 30 years ago, you could have wrote it 50 years ago. And the reason I sent it to you guys because I wanted you to see it because it was a big topic of discussion at our PGA meeting. And mainly, it doesn't really have a lot to do with me, more along the lines of when we're hiring assistants going in the future.
Clearly, that pipeline has dried up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody that's been around the golf course knows we've had some really good kids, per se, young men and young women come through, and it seems like that has slowed.
Ours as well.
Well, I think the evolution of how a golf professional is trained and how he's educated is looping back around again. When I first got in the business and when Mr. Simonson first got in the business years ago, you didn't really necessarily have to be college educated. And then it became a thing where most of golf professionals were coming from PGM programs across the country. And now, college is $140,000. And you're going to graduate on cheap ends, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to graduate from college in debt to a job that pays $30,000 a year. Then you got 5 years. You still got to work your apprenticeship because nobody wants to hire a 23-year-old guy to run their golf course. And you're starting to see that more loop back around now, where you're going to see more golf pros come out of the car barns and work their way up and be willing to get paid less. Because if you got a college degree, a business degree, like you get one from Florida Gulf Coast, you can go get a job working at Gardner or in insurance or whatever and make a decent living. And then the other thing for us down here is the rents. I hear the kids talking in the shop, their rent's like $2,500 a month. And there's 4 and 5 of them living together. There's no inexpensive places to live. How am I going to say, hey, come down from New York and work for me, but I don't have a place for you to live? And like John was saying, how can they don't equal out?
Yeah.
So anyway.
I remember when $50,000 was a good wage if you were a single. I remember that. I remember when I was making 50, I was like, oh my God, I'm doing something in my life. I'm making more money I've ever made. And now, if you do the math on a 2-bedroom and just the average cost of living, groceries, it's that's not going to cover the bills. And it's crazy that number, to me, it doesn't really do anything in this economy anymore.
Not anymore. The price of gas is killing us. That's another story for another day.
But to answer your question, Chris, no, that wasn't about me, or, it was just like a little thing to say, look, this is what's coming,
No, I get it.
and everything else.
Okay. Status of the liquor license. Tony, you're on.
Nothing further since the last time. I think we'll have a conversation with you later about your conversation you had.
Okay.
That could happen maybe, once the district owns the
Owns the
building.
facility, yeah. And having been in a transition meeting with the folks from Duffy's, they were, we can talk about that after the fact, so. Okay.
Any way to amplify your voices?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Are those microphones just for the taping?
They're just for the taping. Okay.
That worked.
We were discussing the liquor license, and Jeff and I did have a transition meeting with the people from Duffy's, and we are going to work with them with regard to some of that and some other issues. So for our side, that's on hold right now. Okay.
I don't know about Duffy's, I'm curious, have we purchased the property?
That's number 6 on the agenda. We'll talk about that in just a...
Okay, thank you.
The next one is the community landscaping. I did ask Juniper not to come today because there were so many other things on the agenda. John and Teresa and Elizabeth and I met with Brian about some more changes that we wanted for the center median and for the corners at the four-way stop. They will have photos and all for the next meeting, so we can see where we are with that, but and John was at the meeting as well. And the different things with the trees, so there are some more changes, so we will have more solid information at the June meeting with regard to the landscaping. Okay?